Hey guys, Kitty here. So I wanted to actually do a video of this for a while. Ever since I made that video about Mike Matei leaving Cinemassacre, I wanted to go back and basically make another video based on the updates on what's going on with Mike Matei, James Rolfe, and Cinemassacre. I've seen a lot of comments on that video that I made. There were some people that didn't really like James Rolfe, and there were some people that didn't like Mike Matei and didn't really like where it was going with Cinemassacre and the channel. Honestly, I thought about for a long time. I thought about this for a while. I thought about this probably since I made that video, like the past few weeks after the announcement that Mike Matei was leaving Cinemassacre. Then I've seen Radical Rick made some videos. I've seen a bunch of YouTubers make some videos um, about the whole thing with Cinemassacre and Mike Matei, and I agree with those people. I thought about it from watching their videos, and there's some things that I agree with a lot of people, especially with where Cinemassacre is at right now and where James Rolfe is at right now. I personally believe that Mike Matei left only because Screamwave was taking control of everything, and I think everybody can agree that that's the main reason why he left. In the very beginning, people thought that there could have been shit behind the scenes. It could have been maybe him and James went through like a whole fallout with each other. They went through a big argument, maybe. Nobody knows, right? In the very beginning, that's what everybody thought because there was nothing that was out until Mike came out and said, "Well, I'm just going to be doing live streams." But then there was kind of more questioning on why he sort of left, besides just doing live streams, right? So I'm thinking, and everybody else thinks, that the reason why he left was because Screenwave was taking over the whole entire channel. And that's possibly what happened. Seeing as how James Rolfe sold his IP of AVGN to that company. So it makes a lot of sense on why Mike Matei probably left because he fed up. He was fed up, excuse me, um, with what Screenwave was going with. Like, what the hell was going on with this company? So obviously Mike Matei left, and it could be because maybe they weren't paying him. Who knows? There was also mentions that Screamwave, it was funny that he came out with a response video, and it ties into what I said about him doing live streams and whatever. There was also things he mentioned. He never mentioned when he was bringing out his response out to the public on why he left and why he decided to do live streams and how the fact he went through a burnout, which I also agree with people that's also BS too, because how do you have a burnout over video games when that's your part-time job? Or in his case, that should be a full-time job. Like, if you're a streamer and that's all you do for a living, I don't think you would suffer through a burnout unless you just don't have the time, unless you just don't have the skill anymore, or you just don't want to put in any time or anything whatsoever to actually put into your the games you play or whatever. Because I know that he's an 80s dude. I know that he prefers playing a lot of older games like NES, Super Nintendo, and all those games, which, don't get me wrong, they're great games, but I think that he should be adding in variety of games that's current right now, which I've been seeing from his live streams. I've been seeing him play like the newer PC games. I've seen him play Doom Eternal. I've seen him play like new games besides NES and Super Nintendo. But that's another reason, right? I don't understand why he has a burnout when you're playing video games for a living, which anybody would love to do if they could. Um, but yeah, so I don't understand that either. Um, but I agree. I agree that that's total BS. But going back to the response, so it's funny that in the response he never mentioned anything about Screenwave. He never mentioned anything about Screenwave until people started thinking about possibly what happened behind the scenes, and that there could have been something going on with Screenwave. And I also agree with people that James Rolfe is definitely not like it seems like he's just out of it. Like it just seems like I think he's been making videos for so long that I think he's just basically losing touch with not just him as AVGN, like the Angry Video Game Nerd, the character, but just basically just him being there in general. Like I strongly believe that he's just there for the paychecks. I just think that Screamwave is just controlling him and basically just telling him what to say and what to make for videos, just so that way he can get a paycheck. Because really, I mean, he basically doesn't own David Jan character anymore. He doesn't own the property. He doesn't own the rights to it anymore. So he might as well, at this point, he might as well just leave. I really think he should just leave and retire, to tell you the truth, because right now nobody really likes the new content that's coming out. Like I seen this Dragon Quest video. Um, I understand. Like I thought the video was kind of stupid, but I do understand that Dragon Quest is a hard series to get into because there's so many games in the series. Like it's just as long as Final Fantasy, where there's so many games that you can go in and you could probably figure out which one like then because there's so many games. It's harder to get into them, but at the same time, like it's anybody can go into a game for the first time and try it out, and then if they want to learn the lore and the story of that series, they could always just look at the timeline if they want to. I do it all the time with anime. I do it all the time with pretty much anything. You could do it pretty much anything with pretty much with any genre of games or anime or whatever. But I just don't really. The reason why I didn't like the video was because because I didn't really like the mobile app ad. I didn't really like it, to tell you the truth, because it seems like a majority of his videos always have advertisements for like new games or mobile or watches, which is stupid. Why he would make one about watches? But yeah, it's just every single video he makes one of advertisements for like products. It's like nobody's there to watch you make a like a shill like a shill ad of you basically showing a watch or a brand new watch. Like people are here to watch your AVGN videos or your review videos or your movie review videos, like all that good stuff. Like nobody cares about the products you're presenting because you're already selling the product, which is your video. So there's no sense. But the only reason why they do that is because of Screamwave, because Screamwave owns pretty much everything Cinemassacre does, and I know that James Rolfe allows it because he basically sold himself out pretty much. Um, but yeah, so pretty much, I mean, and another thing, I agree with a lot of other people too, because I thought about this for a while too. Um, you know, I love James and Mike Mondays. I thought their videos were very good. I actually thought most of their videos were very funny and were pretty good. Some people could disagree. I've seen some people in the comments on my videos saying that they were shit and they were horrible and whatever, which is again that's your opinion. If you don't like them, that's fine. I myself like them. I think that they're pretty entertaining. I think, but to which of their own, right? And I'm not going to bash people that dislike them. When at the end of the day, it's everybody's opinion on whether or not they like it or not. Um, but I like their videos, but I do agree that you're not really going to see those movies. You're not going to see those videos again. I don't know why I said movies, but you're never going to see those videos again. And the only reason why they won't is because they're not doing them anymore. Because Mike and James don't want to do those kind of videos anymore, which makes sense. I mean, that's one of the reasons why they stopped doing it in the first place. When they first came out with that announcement that Mike was going to leave and they weren't going to do James and Mike Mondays anymore, and that they were just going to do a break, everybody knew it was going to be all BS until we started to see more and more news on why it was going to be in fruition. And then finally, everybody realized that they're never going to do it because of Screamwave. Because Screamwave's just going to come in and say, "Oh yeah, you guys aren't going to do James and Mike Mondays," when we're just going to do rental reviews and stupid shit like that. We're just going to do that instead. which, to be quite honest with you, I don't really like the rental reviews. Some of them I've seen, some of the movie reviews he made, like the one on Detective Pikachu, I thought was okay, but I really think James Rolfe isn't a fan of Pokemon, and it's kind of a shame because Pokemon's actually a pretty good series, and I actually really like Detective Pikachu. But it just felt like James didn't really care about being there, and if that was the case, I don't think he should have been there in the first place. If he had no knowledge of the movie or no knowledge of Pokemon whatsoever, I think that they could have taken him out there, but they kind of didn't. So there was like reviews like that I didn't really like, and other rental reviews they made I don't really like. The game reviews I do dig. The game reviews I like. Some of them are pretty good, but the rest of them, like the rental reviews and everything else, I'm not a big fan of. I think that I really don't enjoy them. The one thing I do like though out of their content is probably James and Mike Mondays. I don't really like you know what's bullshit videos, which they used to be really funny. Now they're just, it seems like James is ranting about stupid shit, and it's like, nobody cares, dude. But yeah, at the end of the day, like, I thought about with Mike Matei leaving and the whole thing with Cinemassacre and James Rolfe. I started thinking about it after I made that video, and 3 weeks prior when there was more news out, I thought about it a little bit more, and I just kind of wanted to do a response video on what I thought about it. Really, to sum up, really what I think, really where Cinemassacre is at this point is I think that it's just basically Streamwave controls everything. They basically control everything that's going on, and it sort of reminds me of what happened with Channel Awesome. Even though Channel Awesome, that was a complete different train wreck in of itself with mismanagement. That's a whole different other story with that, with Doug Walker, and it kind of, and it's a shame because you know Doug Walker and James Rolfe, they're both pioneers in a sense in the YouTube community. Like they were one of the first people that started making reviews on YouTube based on movies and video games and stuff like that. They were one of the very first people that did it back when YouTube was a website, like when they first came out with YouTube. You know, these personalities, they basically shaped how reviews were. Like I don't think if it wasn't for those two, we would have never gotten those kind of videos, and they sort of inspired so many people. That's why people really like AVGN. That's why a lot of people like Nostalgia Critic, because so many people like their videos because of how much that they used to inspire so many other people. Where now it's like I think they're kind of sort of out of touch with their shit now. Especially James Rolfe, because you can easily tell like he falls asleep in most of his videos. It's almost like he just doesn't want to be there. He's just there for the paychecks, like I mentioned in the beginning of this video. And it's a shame because he sort of revolutionized how people review video games and movies, right? Even though Doug Walker, okay, yeah, he made parodies and he made jokes about videos and he used to do like these little clips on that. Where James Rolfe, he just did video games and movies. He did like classic movies, right? So it's just a shame that you have two of those kind of people that used to be so beloved and used to be so inspirational to so many people that now it's like they just lost touch. Like and it could be that they've done it for so many years that it's almost like they've done it for that long. Like because AVGN, James Rolfe has been AVGN for at least 15, 16 years. Like if you really do the math and you think of how long he's been on YouTube, that's how long he's been doing the role. He's been doing it for that long. So and I don't want to compare Doug Walker. I only bring him up because he's sort of another example on why James Rolfe uh, basically revolutionized like reviewers and how they inspired so many people. Is because they basically revolutionized the whole game. They revolutionized everything with reviewing movies and video games and stuff like that. So that's why I bring up Doug Walker because he's also another example. But really, this video is just about James Rolfe and Mike Matei and all that. But anyway, regardless, getting up topic here. Um, so yeah, so it's just a shame where Cinemassacre is going, and it's just a real shame. And that's why I think a lot of people kind of lose faith in what these guys are coming out with now. with their content. Sorry about that. Um, based on that, so it's just a shame. I've lost faith in the I mean their videos. I personally I don't really care really if they make James Mike Mondays anymore. At the end of the day, it doesn't bother me because I can always watch other YouTube videos and everything. Like I'm not like everybody else where like I'm gonna complain about not seeing their videos anymore because really at the end of the day, I if they don't want to make videos, then they don't want to make videos, right? I'm just gonna say it's you know it's terrible, but it's not like I'm not gonna cry about it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not gonna get like not gonna be like everybody else. But the only reason why I'm making this video is because I basically wanted to talk about based on their content and what they're doing and what James Rolfe is doing and what I think about it and stuff like that. So that's why I want to make this video. But tell me what you guys' thoughts on everything but James Rolfe and Cinemassacre and AVGN. I want to really know in the comments. Please let me know. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, guys.